So we spoke to the organiser of the Tuneless choirs in Tonbridge and Maidstone a few minutes ago on BBC Radio Kent. They have been singing on Zoom. Obviously, they have to mute themselves because it's really hard to do music together on these virtual platforms. And then they sort of all sing together in quite a cacophony at the end. They're hoping that they will be able to be back to singing in person later this month. It does seem to be a choir for people who don't really feel that they can necessarily always stay in tune. Let's speak to a member. Sue Blair is a member of the Tonbridge Tuneless Choir. Hello, Sue. How are you?
Hello, Julia. I'm fine, thank you.
It's nice to have you with us. How long have you been a member of the Tonbridge Tuneless Choir, Sue?
Well, I'm quite a newbie, actually. I sort of found the choir late last year, sort of in the autumn. I was looking for an evening activity after being widowed from losing my husband earlier on last year, and I needed something to take me out in the long dark evenings.
Okay. Were you feeling a bit lonely at home on your own?
Oh, it's awful in the winter. In the winter, it's really bad in the evenings when you're home alone. So I tried a traditional choir, and it wasn't quite for me because you have to fit in with, being in key, playing a part, having a sheet of music to look at, and I don't read music, I can't sing in tune, and I don't know where I belong in a choir. So my friend said to me, I think you need to try out Tuneless. So
Were you insulted when your friend said that?
No, not at all, because I knew she really meant well. And I looked it up, she sent me the link, and I looked it up, and it did appeal, and it took a lot of courage for me to go along on my own for the first time, because I didn't know anybody that went, and I sort of went along with much trepidation and thought, okay, I've got to try this, because if I don't, I won't do anything. And I thought, at worst case scenario, I can sort of stand at the back near the door, and I can sneak out.
Do a runner.
Do a runner, yes. And when I walked in, I bumped straight into somebody I knew.
Oh, that's nice.
She said, come and sit with us. Yeah. So that was it. And it's a lovely, inclusive atmosphere, and there's no expectation, there's no commitment, and there's no pressure.
Is it a real laugh?
Oh, it's fantastic. It really is, because we all go wrong, and you get your timing wrong and you get your key wrong, but you can't really hear each other when you're singing en masse, because it's such a big group, and the backing music's loud, and Sheena's singing as well. So you're really focused on Sheena, and the lyrics are up on the wall on a PowerPoint, so you're trying to read the lyrics and keep in time, so you're not really thinking about how you sound.
So you don't feel self-conscious then?
Not at all, because you're all together in the same boat, really.
Do you feel you can really let rip?
Sometimes, yes.
What sort of music do you like letting rip to?
Sheena's very good at encouraging that.
Okay. So what? There are songs, aren't there? There's some songs I play on the radio, and obviously the microphone's shut, so you won't know this. But I will be singing along, absolutely belting it out here in the studio. I'm the same way. Oh, you really wouldn't want to hear that. Do you have particular music that makes you want to join in more than others? What do you really love?
Well, there's the things that get people going are the kind of songs that you want to get up and dance to.
Oh, okay.
So things that have a beat, but Sheena picks music that she feels is within everybody's capability, because some music just doesn't work for that kind of singing together activity, because it's too complex and quite hard to do. Yeah. Having said that, we do some fairly challenging things. And about the most complicated it gets is when she divides the room in half, and one half of you sing one line, and the other half of you sort of join in halfway through it and sing the other line. That's the most complicated it gets. Yeah. But if anybody goes wrong, and or if Sheena goes wrong, we just all laugh, and it's just great fun. It really is.
How does it make you feel in yourself, either while you're doing it or on the way home? What's the difference in your mood, would you say?
Well, it does give you a sense of euphoria, and you do feel a bit energised from it. For me personally, it gives me some respite from my personal grief, and I think probably that resonates with other people who are in the same position, or even gives you respite from all the bad stuff that's going on in the world. And,
I understand.
You're bombarded.
Well, you can't think about all of that when you're singing your heart out and trying to remember the words and having a laugh.
Well, all you're doing is having a laugh, reading the lyrics, singing to the best of your ability, and nobody's judging you, nobody's testing you, and nobody has any expectation of you. It's all very non-judgmental and very inclusive. It's really lovely.
What would your husband think of you doing this? Would he have gone, "You go for it, Sue, that sounds fun," or would he have been surprised?
Of course, yeah. No, he'd say go for it, and he'd laugh.
Would he have gone along as well?
Oh, no.
Not his thing at all.
Definitely not. No, definitely not, probably.
But that's the thing about a long marriage, isn't it? Is that you don't have to do everything together. And now he's not there. You've got a big space to fill, haven't you?
Absolutely.
It must have been tough. I suppose you were really glad that they carried on Zoom in lockdown, if it means so much to you.
Oh, yes. And I'm glad that I can't call myself internet savvy in any shape or form, but I can manage a Zoom call, and it was a lifeline, because I'd only just got into the choir and got sort of started on that new life in inverted commas when we went into lockdown, and all my activities that I'd just joined and just had the courage to start getting involved in suddenly stopped, and I was back at home alone. And so it was fantastic to have the choir and one or two other things that were able to go on Zoom.
Well, a lot of people were saying in the beginning of lockdown, weren't they, that if this had happened 20, maybe even 10 years ago, it would have been so much more difficult without the easy access to these sorts of technologies.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry for the people that maybe can't get on the internet, or perhaps, it's just not for them, because, they've missed choir for months. And, I think it's probably as important to a lot of other people that go as it is to me.
Well, look, fingers crossed that these new social restrictions coming in on Monday don't put a dampener on things, because the whole idea is... Well, Sheena was saying that, that you're hoping to all be back in person in a different venue, outdoors, I think.
And it's organised, and it's she's done everything with the risk assessments to make it safe for everybody that wants to go along and participate. So I don't see why not, but we have to be governed by the rules, don't we?
We do, and we're going to find out a bit more about that this afternoon, I think. There's the press conference. So I think a lot of us are waiting to see if this is going to have an impact on the things that we love doing. It's been so nice talking to you. I get an enormous sense of warmth talking to you, Sue.
Oh, thank you.
It's been really lovely. Fingers crossed. Good luck.
Lovely talking to you too. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I bet you are. Fingers crossed that the choir can, because they've done all the risk assessments, as Sue was saying. Sheena's worked really hard on this. Sue Blair, a member of the Tonbridge Tuneless Choir. You're listening to BBC Radio Kent.